know, this is where it all started for me, kid. Running up and down these steps, you know.
Dad.
Yeah.
Dad, we're gonna be late.
Oh, yeah, okay. Hey, wait, what's wrong with you?
What's wrong with it?
You got something growing here. You got like a bump.
What bump?
This bump.
Thanks, Dad.
You deserve it. Thank you for being born. Thank you.
What do you think? You and me?
Well, you look like the daughter that I always wanted.
What are you talking about?
Oh, yo. Hey, don't push me. I'm getting real as it is. Look at this, you know. I've been running up and down these steps for 20 years, and I never knew there was valuable pictures in this building, you know?
Well, you never told us to learn something new.
Yeah.
You're gonna love Picasso.
Oh, yeah. Well, I love almost everybody.
This isn't gonna be easy.
How is it ever?
Darkness is here. Because we're strong enough to hold the weight.
Novel along those lines has never been accepted. However, this is absolutely truth being strangely fiction.
This was an outstanding case in many respects, principally because without forensic evidence, there was no case.
The worst aspect was, of course, the fact that he picked on a totally innocent man in a village and killed him for no other reason than to try to remove blame from himself. And that's what made it diabolical murder.
In 1994, an infant was rushed to a hospital emergency room with a serious breathing problem. The baby's lungs were bleeding, a life-threatening condition which is extremely rare. Within months, there were over 30 cases in Cleveland just like it, a rate 1,000 times higher than anywhere else in the world. Not all of the infants survived. Doctors had never seen anything like it and frantically searched for the cause. On a chilly November evening, Nina Williams heated some baby formula for her 6-week-old son, Brian. But during that feeding, something went terribly wrong.
I heard him regurgitate, so I figured it was milk. But instead, when I picked him up, instead of seeing white milk, I'm seeing bright red blood.
The baby was rushed to Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital in Cleveland, where doctors struggled to save little Brian's life. X-rays revealed that Brian's lungs were filling up with blood. Unable to breathe on his own, he was taken to intensive care and placed on a ventilator.
Sections are still being delayed.
I'm wondering it, but I'm not thinking it. My baby won't be okay. He don't get to it. So, but just still in the back of your mind, the last I'm going to see Brian, was this my last look at him?
Brian was quite sick. He had bled a lot. He had dropped his hematocrit almost in half and required an acute blood transfusion, on top of having to be supported with a ventilator.
Brian Mitchell's condition was diagnosed as idiopathic pulmonary hemosiderosis, which means unexplained bleeding in the lungs. Lung bleeding is usually caused by a heart problem, an infection, or child abuse. But in Brian's case, doctors eliminated these as possible causes. The hospital's medical records revealed 2 other babies had been treated for unexplained lung bleeding, and one of those babies died. The incidence of lung bleeding in infants was 1,000 times higher in Cleveland than anywhere else in the world. Brian Mitchell was fortunate. After 2 weeks of improvement, he was released. His doctors suspected that his lung bleeding was caused by an allergic reaction to his baby formula, and they recommended his mother change the type she was using. But 1 week later, Brian Mitchell was back in the hospital with more lung bleeding.
I was just to the point, what's wrong with him? He starts bleeding, we bring him to the hospital. We leave him in the hospital for 3 days, but you can't tell us why he's here. You can't tell us what's wrong with him.
Dr. Dearborn discovered that Brian Mitchell and the other sick babies all lived within a 6-mile radius of the hospital on Cleveland's east side.
It was probably an environmental component. It said that not necessarily that it was in their homes, but something in that part of the community was problematic.
But there was a complication. Brian Mitchell had a twin sister, Brianna, who lived in the same house, ate the same food, and slept in the same room as Brian, and even shared the same crib. If Dr. Dearborn was right, and the cause was environmental, why did little Brian get sick while his twin sister was perfectly healthy? And there was another problem. Only infants were getting sick. None of the older children or adults in the same neighborhood or even in the same homes were affected. Dr. Dearborn knew he needed help and called in the Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta.
The fear is we were going to continue to have more of these babies, and that we wouldn't get them too late to save them.
Something mysterious was happening in Cleveland, causing the lungs of infants to bleed for no apparent reason. It was an outbreak unlike any other before in medical history. And it was happening, ironically, within a 6-mile radius of a children's hospital.
Hey, it's me, your dry skin. I'm craving something we're missing. The ceramides in CeraVe. They help restore my natural barrier so I can lock in moisture. We've got to have each other's backs.
CeraVe, now the #1 dermatologist recommended skincare brand.
Let your queries be known.
How come we don't call ourselves bikers anymore? I mean, riders is cool, but bikers really cool.
Seriously? Deny.
When we go back to meeting at the rec center, the commute here is brutal.
Deny.
How do we feel about that in the folks that think you can say with America's #1 motorcycle insurance? Should stop asking the same question every time. Prove! Deny! Whoa.
With DirecTV, I can get live TV and on demand together. Football, housewives. Football, housewives.
What?
Get your TV together. Call 1-800-DIRECTV to save up to $120.
Earn 5% cash back on travel purchase through Chase with Chase Freedom Unlimited. Earn 5% on our cabin.
Hello, cash back!
Earn big time with Chase Freedom Unlimited with no annual fee. How do you cash back? Chase, make more of what you're
She's supposed to be the one. I used to believe in the one. And then I realized there's plenty of savings in the sea. Amazon has daily deals, so every day is a chance to meet the deal that catches your eye, that shakes your soul, that changes your destiny. I'm gonna go check on those tater tots.
Learn all the ways to save with Amazon.
With Choice Hotels, missing family rides means you book it. Whatever your reason, save 20% when you stay 2 or more nights at participating locations. Book direct at choicehotels.com. Terms and conditions apply.
For Imprint, this is Lisa. Hi, I'd like 50 Walton Wows and 300 customer. I love it.
Promotional products from Fort Imprint are certain to deliver yes.
Wow.
I love it. Find some wow now at fortimprint.com. Fort Imprint, for certain.
Hi, I'm Jeff from Nuts.com. When my grandfather started this business, he relied on freshness, quality, variety, and service. We still deliver the freshest nuts, dried fruits, snacks, and sweets to families all around the country. Nuts.com. Enjoy free shipping on your first order.
Hi, I'm Wolfgang Bach. When I started my online store, Wolfgang Bach Home, I knew there would be a lot of orders to fill, and I wanted them to ship out fast. That's why I chose ShipStation. ShipStation helps manage orders, reduce shipping costs, and print out shipping labels. It's my secret ingredient.
ShipStation, the #1 choice of online sellers.
And Wolfgang Puck.
Go to shipstation.com/try and get 2 months free.
The Centers for Disease Control assigned Dr. Ruth Etzel to lead the investigation in Cleveland. Her job was to find out what caused the death of one infant and the life-threatening illness of 7 others.
The job of a medical detective is an awful lot like the job of a criminal detective. That is, we're looking to try to track down the culprit of a specific unknown disease. And if we can track down that culprit, we can prevent him from attacking again.
Dr. Etzel reviewed all of the medical records of the infants with pulmonary hemosiderosis. One thing caught her eye. Many of the infants improved in the hospital, but started bleeding again after they returned home.
She was soaked and things like that.
The families of the sick infants were interviewed using a 230-item questionnaire to see if they differed in any way from the families of healthy children. All of the homes were tested to see if the pesticides used were the type approved for residential use. And air samples from the homes were also collected. Within days of the investigation, 2 more babies with pulmonary hemosiderosis were rushed to the hospital from the same neighborhood. The total number of cases was now 10.
9 of those 10 were male, and all of them were African American. So this made us start thinking as to whether we were dealing with something related to the genetics of race, whether we were dealing with something that was particularly susceptible in males. Those were in the background of our considerations of still primarily something in the environment as probably causing this.
But if the cause was environmental, why was Brian Mitchell sick while his twin sister Brianna was healthy? Both slept in the same room, in the same crib, ate the same food, and breathed the same air.
Here, an infant who had no outward signs of bleeding had ongoing low-grade bleeding for several weeks, and yet at any time she could have had a stress and she would have lived it. So how many infants like Brianna were out in the community that were showing no real significant problems? How deep was this iceberg?
As the mystery intensified, so did the fear among parents in Cleveland's East Side neighborhoods. The level of pesticides in the sick babies' homes were all within normal range, and there was no difference in air samples collected from the homes of the sick children than those collected from the homes of the healthy infants.
We want to prevent another death, we want to prevent another case, and we didn't know where to reach out to next. So I think all the public health authorities involved, state, federal, local, were really trying to get together in a think tank and figure out some answers because we didn't have it.
But the data gathered from questionnaires began to reveal some important information. 7 of the 10 sick children lived in homes with cigarette smokers. All of the sick babies had been bottle-fed. None had been breastfed. And all of the sick babies lived in homes that had recent water damage. Was it possible that smoking, baby formula, or something in the water was causing the deadly outbreak of the bleeding lungs in infants? Or was it something else?
Lysol is donating 28 million wipes to schools in need, so they can kill 99.9% of viruses and bacteria. Keeping kids together, here, at places like the lunch table, where they can share who they truly are. Because when kids are together, they thrive. Lysol, here for healthy schools.
When it comes to family, I always do what's best. My parents taught me that. That's why I called A Place for Mom. Their personalized guidance was just what I needed to find senior living for Mom. And their advice is free to families. Not just free, invaluable. Our advisor gave us options based on our needs and budget, guiding us to the best decision. I never expected a free service to make such a difference.
Our service comes at no cost to your family. Connect with us today.
Flo, you're here. This bike just burst on me.
Well, you bundled home and auto with Progressive, so you have round-the-clock protection on all your stuff. Like that cardboard TV.
I told Props to switch that out. Okay, everyone, that's a wrap.
Wait, you faked this whole thing?
I knew it was the quickest way to see you.
I'm sorry, John, but I'm already in love with insurance.
You know that's weird, right?
Well, any weirder than faking a burst pipe?
God, don't carry away.
Sorry, Mom. It's amazing what you can build on AWS. Imagine creating cool stuff that can make ordering tacos a breeze and let you watch every shot from every player anywhere you want. Learn about investing in the coolest companies and watch your favorite team from the other side of the world. Just imagine what they can do when I'm in charge.
Where's your name? Okay, class.
The lows of bipolar depression can leave you down and in the dark. But what if you could begin to see the signs of hope all around you? What if you could let in the light? Discover Caplyta. Caplyta is a once-daily pill proven to deliver significant relief from bipolar depression. Unlike some medicines that only treat bipolar 1, Caplyta treats both bipolar 1 and bipolar 2 depression. And in clinical trials, feelings of inner restlessness and weight gain were not common.
Caplyta can cause serious side effects. Call your doctor about sudden mood changes, behaviors, or suicidal thoughts right away. Antidepressants may increase these risks in young adults. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Report fever, stiff muscles, or confusion, which may be life-threatening, or uncontrollable muscle movements, which may be permanent. These aren't all the serious side effects.
In the darkness of bipolar 1 and 2 depression, Caplyta can help you let in the light. Ask your doctor about Caplyta from Intracellular Therapies.
There's what you've heard, and there's how it really happened.
The new season of How It Really Happened with Jesse L. Martin. Sundays at 9 on HLN.
Dr. Ruth Etzel spent weeks trying to figure out what was causing the mysterious lung bleeding among infants in Cleveland. There had been 10 cases reported so far, with 1 death, and Etzel was afraid there would be more. During the investigation, Dr. Etzel met with a friend for dinner. She was a physician and a fellow medical detective from Brazil. She mentioned a lecture she once attended and couldn't recall all of the details, but said the lecture described how mycotoxins cause the serious illness of some Brazilian children. After dinner, Dr. Etzel rushed to the library to read all she could about mycotoxins. When she cross-referenced the words mycotoxin with the word hemorrhage, the computer led to an article about a mold called Stachybotrys atra. The article described how Stachybotrys atra, found in some grain in Europe over 40 years earlier, caused livestock to bleed internally and die. Stachybotrys is a dark green, almost black, slimy mold. It often grows on cellulose-based items like straw and paper after coming into contact with water.
I began to wonder if mycotoxins could make animals sick when they ate grain that was moldy. Could it be possible that mycotoxins could make babies sick if they breathed them in?
To test her theory, Etzel contacted Dr. Bill Sorensen. He's a mycologist who had done some research on the Stachybotrys mold. Sorensen knew that the The only possible way that Stachybotrys could get into a baby's lungs was by the spores, the tiny, almost invisible seed-like structures which are produced in the mold. Once the mold dries, the spores become light and powdery and can flake away, traveling great distances through the air.
And so therefore, it would be possible, if the spores are present in large enough numbers in the home and released into the air, that they could be inhaled.
There were 400 different types of spores found in the homes of the sick babies. The spores were placed on culture plates and left to grow for 10 days. When Sorensen analyzed the culture plates, he noticed that many contained a dark green, almost black mold. Under a microscope, Sorensen noticed that the samples from the Cleveland homes were structurally similar to the mold which killed the livestock in Europe. It was, in fact, Stachybotrys atra. Investigators now knew that spores from Stachybotrys atra were in the air of the sick babies' homes. But they needed to know whether the Stachybotrys spores in Cleveland contained the same toxins as those which killed the livestock in Europe. To find out, scientists grew the spores found in the Cleveland homes in a mixture of rice. Stachybotrys grows well in rice, moisture in the grains. The mold was then ground and mixed with a series of solvents to extract the chemicals contained in the spores. Using what is called high-performance liquid chromatography, the physical characteristics of the spore chemicals were analyzed, and scientists discovered that the Cleveland spores were identical to the highly toxic mycotoxins that killed the livestock in Eastern Europe. They were a special class of mycotoxins called trichothecenes.
The trichothecene mycotoxins are among the most potent protein synthesis inhibitors known. By that, I mean they disrupt the ability of cells to make proteins, and without that ability, cells will die.
When scientists searched the homes of the sick children, they found the source of the Stachybotrys spores in mold found growing in the faces. The mold was found in all but one of the sick babies' homes. But Stachybotrys was also found in half the homes tested for healthy children. If it was Stachybotrys that caused the death of one Cleveland infant and the serious illness of 9 others, why didn't it affect all of the infants who lived in homes where it was found?
He noticed he was really wrong.
My name is Austin James. As a musician living with diabetes, finger sticks could be a real challenge. That's why I use the Freestyle Libre 2 system. With a painless 1-second scan, I know my glucose numbers without finger sticks. Now I'm managing my diabetes better, and I've lowered my A1C from 8.2 to 6.7.
Take the